Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. We got a request from one of my viewers who created a scenario called The Curse of 7 and asked me to check it out, and I'm happy to do so. 7 what, though, I wonder? I haven't actually looked it up. I probably should have read the description. The 7 dwarves? Have they risen up? Are they evil now? I always knew it. Maybe not, though. Could just be the 7 deadly sins. That does seem to be like a 50-50 chance. Anytime the number 7 is involved, it's going to be the 7 deadly sins. And understandably so, because it's kind of a cool theme. Oh, there it is. Curse of 7. Yep, it's the 7 deadly sins. Oh, well. Would have been fun if it were the dwarves. Actually, maybe the dwarves are based on the 7 deadly sins. We ever thought about that? Hang on. We got sleepy. That's sloth. We got grumpy. That's wrath. I don't remember the other ones. That's probably about as far as the simile goes, but that would have been funny. This scenario gives you control over everything 7, giving you powers as the 7 deadly sins. Will you curse the world with sins or eliminate humanity as is? It's your choice. This scenario features customization and would mean the world if Pravus would play it. Well, here I am to do exactly that because you asked so nice. How could I say no? Gulrod. But I don't get to choose my own traits. That's interesting. Control the power of 7 through the creation of Earth to the 7 layers of heaven. There are 7 layers to heaven? Like a 7-layer dip? I didn't know that. Will you curse the world with sins or eliminate humanity as is? It's your choice. Pick a place to begin, yada yada. I recommend Saudi Arabia, China, or India, but you do you. I happen to agree with the Saudi Arabia, so I'm not going to be obstinate and choose something else just to prove a point. We'll stick with the Saudi Arabia. Why is it 1969? What a very specific year to go for. Very nice. Transmissions. Customization right off the bat. Love to see it. The Arctic Ocean. The smallest and shallowest of the world's 5 major oceans. Wait a minute. You said that I had control over 7s. Why do I have control over 5s? Unless there are also 2 additional bodies of water we can add to the pile. I don't know. Monday. Well, there's a 7. The day of depression, anxiety, abolition, hysteria, or melancholy. Yep, that sounds like a Monday's all right. Mondays suck. And it seems very fitting that affects the wealthy and the urban more than anything else. Day 1. Then God said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness, and God called it light. Yagami. The protagonist/antagonist, really, from Death Note. But that's beside the point. Day 2. Then God said, "Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Divide the waters from the waters, firmament in the midst. A separation between 2 things of waters. So the evening and the morning were the second day. Fascinating. You know, there are some people on the creationist spectrum who believe that the world actually was encased in a second sphere of water. Like, you have the oceans, right? And then you have the sky, and above that, a whole nother layer of just water, and that's what water fell down and, started up Noah's flood. And there's something about how that changes, like carbon dating rates and stuff, I don't know. Never really fully understood it myself, but that's what some people believe. Day 3, then God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together in one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so, and God called the dry land Earth. Sweet. God, you're doing fantastic work for us so far. Look at all that infectivity. Thank you for helping me spread my virus amongst your still non-existent creations. Day 3. Then God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass," not glass, gosh, my tongue, "the herb that yields seed, and the fruit tree that yields fruit according to its kind, whose seed is in itself." Yes, that is the definition of a fruit. Something with the seeds inside of itself. Wait, is that the definition of a fruit? It's also got to be like on a tree or a vine. There's other things to it too, aside from vegetables. Oh, I don't remember the exact definitions right now. I'm tired. It's freaking early in the morning. Symptoms. I haven't looked at this yet. 7 deadly sins. Unlocks the ability to unleash the 7 deadly sins upon humanity. Do you dare take the consequence that follows? Yes, but not this exact second. Abilities. Help. Unlocks the ability to trigger help, but at what cost? I don't think I need that. I don't need help. Determination. With the strength and willpower brought by determination, humans can stay in colder regions easier. Because for some reason, people think that willpower is all it takes to survive in the freezing wastelands that are of the north. Friggin' heck, if only that's how it did work. It'd be amazing. Perseverance. With a mindset brought by persevering, humans can stay in hotter regions easier. Okay, perseverance makes a little bit of sense. You gotta be a little bit stubborn to stay in places like the desert. And yet somehow I grew up in Arizona, so I know it's possible. The first heaven of what is water and life, home to Adam and Eve, with the angel of each and every star. I don't know exactly what that means and what the other layers are going to be, but that should be fun. Roll 2 die. If the sum is equal to 7, activate 3 spore bursts? What? Oh, that's kind of clever. I mean, 7 is the most likely combination in a pair of dice. But I didn't even know you could do that. How do you do random number generators in the custom scenario creator? All right, let's try one and see if we get some spore bursts. And the sum wasn't 7. Dang it. I'm going to gamble again. And it wasn't 7. Gosh. It may be the most likely combo, but it's hardly a sure thing. 7 sinners increases humanity's likelihood to sin 32 points. Only 7 sinners? Oh, I think we can get a few more billions onto that one. Let's go for day 4. Then God said, let the lights be in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and seasons and for days and years. Chronology, I approve. Day 4. Then God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, in case you were wondering, and about how those stars came into being. They were a bit of an afterthought to God. He's like, well, I got some extra stardust. I'll just sprinkle it randomly in the cosmos. Or something. I don't know. Day 5. Then God said, let the waters abound with an abundance of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the face of the firmament of the heavens. I wish I understood exactly how the firmament of the heavens is defined, but it sounds good. Pretty effective, not an outrageous amount of severity at this stage. Day 6. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air, but not the critters of the earth. PETA, you are justified in your holy cause against humanity. We are, however, allowed to eat the birds and the fish. That's the rule. 17 points. Pretty good amount of infectivity. I don't know how I can say no to that. I think we're just going to have to go for it. Let's create humankind. Day 7. Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished. And on the 7th day, God ended his work, which he had done, and he rested on the 7th day. Thus setting up the tradition of Sabbath. Desires? Do we want to go for that? No, not yet. Arctic Ocean for a tiny bit of severity doesn't seem very appealing to me. Mondays, I suppose. Must be a Monday. That could be an option. Alternatively, now that humanity exists, let's unleash sin upon them. We have greed, covetousness, a need for more. Humans start hoarding anything and everything they thus see, even what they don't need. Who gives will receive. Have you? Is this supposed to be like an introspective thing? It's like, am I a greedy person? Have I been generous today? Probably not. Though I do try to be. Lust, lechery, luxuria, intense sexual desire affects humans. Have you saturated your desires? It's a very personal question to be asking. Envy, invidia, resentfulness. Humans envy each other. Don't you see what you already have? Pride, superbia, hubris, a desire to be God, a need to be more than others. Humans will try to raise themselves above others. It is human nature. Have you leveled yourself? Just ask my cult. Gluttony, gula, gluttier, not caring for your next. Humans have intense need for consumption of not only food. Have you quenched your desire? Not really, but fortunately I have rather low desires to begin with. Sloth. So there's no need for activity. Humans are lazy by nature, an absence of dissociation of the mentality that can cause more harm than you'd think. And finally, wrath, which is the image of a shark. Godless killing machines that they are. I approve. Ira, vengeance, violence towards another will never end well. Humans declare hatred and war towards one another. Have you been hateful? I try my dangest not to be. What kind of questions are these? I'm starting to think that this scenario was created just to be a trap, so that I would go on this long introspective rant about my sins and vulnerabilities. Which, that would imply that I have any faults. I don't have any faults. Crap, I just fell for the fault of pride, didn't I? That is the joke after all. Alright, so let's go for, the lethality doesn't sound very good to me. We'll go for desires. That would lead to aviophobia immunity. So immunity to the fear of flying. Huh. Immunity to the fear of flying. I'm trying to think how else that could be turned in a horrible direction. I no longer have a fear of flying translates into I no longer have a fear of gravity translates into everyone jumps off a roof. Max lethality. I don't know. Traveling by plane more desirable. Hydrokinesia immunity? Seasickness. Interesting. We'll pick that up. And then let's go for the Mondays. Tuesdays. It is believed that there's an association between Tuesday and Mars, the god of war, and therefore Tuesday is related to death. Hot and rural. Is it? I've never heard that before. I guess I could believe it, but I literally have never heard that. Let's pick it up. Wednesday. Wednesday. Kind of decent day to be honest. Kind of meh. Nothing to say really. Increases infectivity in cold countries. That's cool, I guess. Winky face. Because cool is a pun. I guess. Freaking puns. What do you think you're doing? All right, we'll pick that up. These are getting a little expensive for not a ton of benefit. Thursday is aligned by the planet Jupiter in the astrological signs of Pisces and Sagittarius, or Sagittarius. Thirsty Thursday for infectivity in humid areas. I feel like I missed an opportunity for Hump Day with Wednesday, associated with camels, therefore deserts and dry and arid areas. Probably? Maybe. All right, let's pick this up. That leads to Friday. Friday! Friday! You gotta get down on Friday! Good Friday in particular is a favorite day for potato planting, participating, and partying. Potatoes? Vodka. Increases infectivity greatly, poor and arid as well. Again, these are very expensive, and I'm not sure that there's a ton of benefit, because at some point we're going to start running out of gas. Let's turn to some other things. Let's see, hang on. What am I missing as far as islands? We're missing Greenland and the Caribbean and New Zealand and New Guinea. So there's a fair bit left to go. Let's go for some cold resistance. Don't think we need a couple levels of that. Could go for the first heaven, but I'm not sure what it does. We pick it up, that leads to the second heaven. What about second heavens? With the alluring looks of white pearls, home to Yahya, and Jesus. Who the heck is Yahya? Am I being insensitive by not knowing what that is? Because I'm drawing a total blank. I haven't the faintest clue. Okay, we're going to go for a little bit of lethality with the Sharks of Wrath. We are the sharks of Wrath. So stay out of our path. There's no escaping angry sharks. We are the Sharks of Wrath. That is a Christian VeggieTales reference, except I turned it into sharks. Because reasons. Do we want to do day 7 right now? Nah, I think we don't want to do day 7. Let's go for Friday. Saturday. In folklore, Saturday was the preferred day to hunt vampires, because on that day they were restricted to their coffins. Harder to cure. Why? Because Saturday is supposed to be the Sabbath, according to the Seventh-day Adventists. So maybe there's that sort of a reference. I'm not really sure where that would come from. Rest is the best medicine. You rest on a Sunday. Become immune to Sunday rest. Harder to cure. Well, that sounds good. We do need to remember that we kind of made ourselves a lot easier to cure by gambling twice and losing terribly. We're going to go for the extra lethality, but I really hope we get a boat to Greenland, and there it is! Global research is focused on a cure, but unfortunately, because we gambled and lost, and because we're not getting a lot in the way of DNA, because we took so long getting all these extra transmissions that we really didn't need, I don't have enough gas to actually survive, so they're about to cure us, which means I have to restart. Unless we can pick up Saturday. That did make a slight effect, but not by much. Ah, darn. People have been cured of their sins. All right, rolling the dice is probably not that great. We'll try it again. Well, I've been attempting this scenario for the last 30-plus minutes now, and I'm going to lose again, I can tell already. I don't think the scenario is quite balanced, I'm afraid. Oh, we forgot to get into the Caribbean. Oh, well. Definitely not going to win now. The issue that I'm running into right now is that once I do start working on the cure, they go really fast. There just is not enough options early in the game to slow down cure progress. You can work all the way toward Saturday and Sunday, but in order to get that, you can see here, for example, Friday now costs 26 DNA. There's just not enough gas to do as many things as I think the author intends you to do. If you want to slow down the cure, that's absolutely crucial to not get cured immediately, but you're not going to have enough points to actually get to the lethality you need with something like day 7. There's not a whole lot of lethality available via the various different sins. The sins themselves don't seem to actually do a ton. I'm assuming sloth helps slow down the cure, but I'm not actually positive on that point. The abilities don't have obvious ways of slowing down the cure, unless the heavens do something, but it doesn't say anything about that. So I really have no idea, and if you do fail the 2 die roll, well, then you're really kind of just screwed. You kind of have to do that very early on and just keep restarting until you get something that works. So right now, I just think that the game is just a bit unbalanced. There's too much trying to be accomplished here for too high of a cost. You know, I can tell that the author wants you to go for things like the oceans to avoid getting detected, and that sounds good, at least for a little while, but if you really want to avoid getting detected for a long time, you have to invest a ton of points to get to that point. It doesn't even reduce severity, it just reduces the odds of getting detected the first time. Once you've been detected, it's kind of too late anyway. So that's all kind of just a big waste of DNA. I've managed to get to like 80% of the world dead, but I can never outrace that cure progress. And I know that there's an option for help here with 77% cure correction, which sets the cure back to 77%, but it's easier to cure. But considering how fast they cure you toward the end of the game anyway, doesn't really matter. Also, when I've attempted to use this, it doesn't actually reset back to 77. For some reason, if you've already been cured, get to 100%, try resetting it, too little, too late. And let's see, that sets it down to... What happened to setting it to 77? It didn't work! Don't know why. So, yeah, this... I don't know. It's a fun idea for a scenario, but there's maybe a little bit too many 7s. at the moment, and it is set to brutal difficulty by default, so that might be part of the problem, but I usually don't have this much trouble even on Mega Brutal with a Parasite. As long as you keep your severity low enough, you usually aren't going to have too much trouble. But man, that cure progress is really high. I'd recommend at least including a few other options for reducing cure speed kind of early on. That's what you see in the base scenario of Parasite. You have some early symptoms you can pick up that will slow down that cure, and that does give you a little bit more buffer space. Something along those lines, or reduce the cost of a lot of your transmissions so you can actually get through a bunch of them. As it stands right now, there's a whole chunk of it that I haven't even seen because I just can't afford to waste the DNA. There's not enough gas to go around. It's a cool idea for a scenario, but it's unfortunate that I wasn't able to complete it, but I'm not going to spend another 45 minutes working on it. Oh well. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.